Hey everybody, it's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm going to get to the content topic of this video in just a moment, but before I do, I really just want to give a warm welcome to all of the new subscribers. It's been a crazy last 24 hours in a good way. Ever since I unexpectedly agreed to do the video last night on the Wade's Venture YouTube channel, there's been over 100 new subscribers to this channel in just that time frame alone. So again, welcome into everybody. If you have not seen that video, I will link to it down below and you could see my full interview with Wade. I go into my life and my business on a more personal level than you've heard me discuss on this channel before, so you might find that interesting. Also, if not for that, just go to Wade's channel to check out his content with so many other interviews with other resellers. Also, lots of what's sold videos and just great content for you to help you develop your reselling business. So go check that out. But tonight's video is something that I'm going to do that piggybacks off of last night's video. Now, if you saw last night's video, you remember that I talked about devices that you're going to find at garage sales or estate sales or rummage sales that you need to plug in order to test whether or not they work. And if you don't test it out properly, or if you put it in a faulty outlet and the outlet's not working, you might walk away and not think that the item works when it really does, and you should have passed it up. So I talk about some little tips in there to make sure that you test it out properly so that it works. But there's another type of electronic device that you will also want to test out that does not involve any type of plug. Instead, we're talking about battery operated objects and items, and you're going to come across a ton of them. A lot of handheld devices, remote controls, that sort of thing. I actually have a whole video which especially for new subscribers, I want you to check that out down below. It talks about how you can make a ton of money reselling remote controls, believe it or not, that you find at garage sales, estate sales, that sort of thing. A lot of times when you'll find them in a box with a whole bunch of other ones, and they're often not too expensive. You could often get them for less than $1. But even so, you don't want to just grab 5, 6 remotes that you don't know if they work or not. You want to figure out whether or not they work, because you want to just cut down on the bulk that you're bringing home and put in the car, that sort of stuff. So as an example, and I'm going to link to this at this video at the end, I recently went to a garage sale where this item was one of the things that I wound up sourcing. Now, this is a remote control, and what's going to happen with most remote controls or other battery operated devices that you see at these sales is that is one of two things. Usually it's either dead if there are batteries in it, or there's no batteries in them whatsoever. In an ideal situation, you press the device and it goes on, and you could see, wow, that's great. The batteries work, the device works, but that's usually not going to be what happens. So what do you do in that situation? It's something that could potentially be valuable, but you don't know if it works or not, and you don't really want to spend the money, or put the stuff in your car if you don't know that it works. So after you've checked the comps and you've figured out that this is an item that you want to get, not all remote controls are going to be something that you could resell for good money, but this one in particular, this is a home theater master. Now, by the way, when you're checking these out and checking out comps, you want to look at the bottom. Like you see, this one here says I think it's MX500. So you either look there, or if you don't see something there to identify it, you just look on the back. Usually there'll be something on the back tab here, the battery cover. Don't buy them, by the way, if they don't have battery covers. People really want those covers. But if that doesn't have it, you're going to look inside, and there's going to be an identification number that can help identify the remote, and sometimes it's actually on the back of this flap. So every single remote is different in terms of where are the numbers that could help identify it, and you obviously want to look it up by brand name. But once you've done that, like I did with this one, and once I looked it up, I said, wow, this device is worth about 25 bucks if it works. Yep, 25 bucks. Now it has a display screen, so this one should be really easy to figure out if it works, because the display screen should turn on. So I go there, pick it up, look at it. There were either, I can't remember, there were either no batteries in it or the batteries in it were dead. I believe it's that the batteries were in it and the batteries were dead. Yeah, that's what it was. The batteries were dead. So took the batteries out, and I said to the person who was running the sale, I'm gonna head out to my vehicle, and I'm going to get some batteries for this remote because I want to test it out. So that's tip number one, really, is that you want to make sure that you have batteries that you bring with you to these sales, so that they're readily close by, that you could just come, put them into the device, test it out, see if it works. You obviously, tip number two, want to make sure that your batteries are charged, especially if you're using rechargeable ones, which I would recommend. Make sure, especially if you're going to go to a big sale that day or lots of sales, make sure that you test them before you leave if you haven't charged it recently, to make sure that they're working, because that would be one of the worst things to happen, is you actually brought batteries with you to test out the device, and then it looks like it doesn't work because you don't realize till you get home that your batteries are dead. So you don't want that to happen. So anyway, I tell the person I'm going to go out to my vehicle, and he goes, no, don't worry about it. He goes, I have batteries. So I was like, okay. Now I've had this happen before where someone will tell me, I have batteries, don't worry about it. Now, if they go in, they get the batteries, they put it in the device, and the device works, that's great. I'll take that all day. And sometimes they'll even tell you, I had this happen with a Sony Walkman recently. The person said, and you could keep the batteries, which was great because now I don't have to spend anything on the batteries, and I could tell the person who's looking at it in the ad on eBay that this is going to even come with batteries because I didn't have to spend anything on it. So sometimes though, the person will have batteries that don't work, even though they tell you that they're nearly 100% sure that they do work. And that's what happened in this case. The person said to me, I have these batteries. I said, do they work? He said, yeah, I'm practically 100% sure that they work because these are the ones that I have ready to go to, if I need batteries. So I said, okay. So there happened to be AAA. So there were 4 AAAs I needed. And that's the minimum, by the way, of what you should carry with you in terms of the AAAs. You should carry at least 4 AAAs and at least 4 AA batteries for most things. There will be some things that require more than that, like some fancy devices will require 8, but at least you want to carry 4 for most things. So anyway, he gives me the batteries. I put them in the remote control and go to turn it on, and nothing happens. Now, yes, in my situation, I do have batteries available that I could go to and bring in and test. I'm going to show you what happened with that in just a moment. However, think about the situation where you don't have those batteries with you and you're relying on this person who's telling you he's nearly 100% sure that his batteries work or her batteries work, whatever the case may be, and you turn it on and it doesn't work. You're going to think that the device is broken and you're not going to pick it up, chances are. So rather than have that happen, I went out to my car and I have these batteries that I keep in this little pouch. This pouch I found for $1 at an estate sale, which was a lot better than what I was doing previously, which is I had them in a plastic bag, but I have other sorts of tools and things that I keep in here. So having this little travel bag really helps in terms of, I'll just kind of face this down so you could see kind of the things that I have in here. All sorts of things that I can need for different sales. I mean, I've got a magnet in here to test, whether something might be gold. I've got a chisel in here. I've got all sorts of things. I got all sorts of different batteries. I have C batteries. I have D batteries. I have AA batteries of all sorts of different types, and I even have extra ones in my glove compartment. So now if I'm gonna be at an estate sale where I know I'm gonna be in the sale for a while, I'm not gonna wanna run back out to my car, especially if I have to park down the street really far. Then what I do is I take this and I carry this around with me inside my box. I have a box that I carry with me that has several other boxes inside of it so I could carry goods around the sale. This way, you know, I don't have to hold this the whole time in my hands. It's obviously too big to fit really in my pocket or anything like that. So that's how I do it. Now, if garage sales, and the reason why I didn't have this right on me at the moment at the garage sale, I had to go back to my car. My car's right at the end of the driveway. I usually don't need to use this at, you know, at every garage sale that I'm going to stop off to. So it doesn't make any sense to keep dragging this in and out to every single garage sale. I know I have it right there if I need it. So I walk over to the car and I take the 4 AAA batteries out. So I'm gonna just grab those right here. We got 1, got 2, got 3, and got 4. So all I gotta do, match them up to where they go. So just bear with me. Just gonna put those in real quick. 1, 2, and then we got this right here, 3 and 4. Just gonna put the lid on, and sure enough, look at that, it fully works. Sold, no problem. Now I say sold because it's funny. If you saw that video, the person had wanted $5 for 2 jerseys, 2 shirts, and then I wound up getting all this other stuff, and at the end, because he was telling me along the way how much everything would cost in terms of the shirts, so I wound up getting a whole bunch of other stuff besides the shirts, and he just told me he'd take $10 for everything anyway. So this wouldn't have cost any, this actually didn't even really cost anything, but still, now I know that it works and it's great. I know it's going to be an easy $25 in my pocket, or 20 to 25 as soon as I put it online. So yeah, just as another little tip with the remotes, you know, try to find ones that are, you know, have a good, like a Japanese brand that's famous, like Sony or you know, Panasonic, something like that. Also, look at ones that have like kind of this vintage look to it. Like you can see, like how many times have you seen a remote like this before? Like this is kind of strange looking, something that's like odd, unusual. Anything that has like a display screen like that. Those are, you know, awesome items to pick up and definitely check. Before you start putting all these batteries in it, by the way, what I would suggest you do first is if you're at the, you know, when you're at the sale, take out your eBay app, look it up first, determine whether or not this is something that's even worth futzing around with. You know, check out the completed sales data on it, and then check out what someone is currently trying to sell a fully working one of these for, and then, you know, go into it once you've realized, wow, this is something that if it works, it could be worth 25 bucks, you know, pick it up. If it's something that is a remote that only sells for $5, you know, brand new working condition, forget it, don't even bother. So I hope this tip is helpful for you. I mean, this is just kind of a process I've kind of come to, you know, over time. So I'm just kind of sharing the final version of it with you at this point. So save you a lot of time and effort and grief trying to figure this out, you know, yourself. So if you like this tip, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you drop a comment down below if you have other suggestions and ideas of things that you do that are similar to make sure that items that are, you know, you're picking up at sales are working, that sort of thing, or some good stories. I love to hear those sorts of things, so make sure you drop it down below in the comment section. Also, I talked about how many new subscribers have come to this channel over the last 24 hours. If you are watching these videos and you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. It really helps to support the channel and give it some credibility, which I'm hoping to build up. So I would appreciate your support in that. As a little treasure chest that pops up at the end. Just click that or go anywhere on the channel to subscribe. And lastly, I've also had a high number of people who've come to join my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link to that is down below. I do a free Be on the Lookout item of the day where I give you a lot of information about an item that you should look for, or a group of items you should look for that you could resell in all sorts of genres. It's not just in one specific topic area. So you could make a lot of money just from looking at these Be on the Lookout items and taking notes. And so I hope you'll consider coming over there. Just submit a join request, and if everything looks good, I will let you in. With that, I've got some other items I have to process, and I will see everyone at the next video. Thanks, everyone.